What's been going on with you, Portia? How's your day been?
My day has been absolutely great.
Hmm.
The facility that I am working for is preparing for the state survey, so it's been just kind of crazy.
Oh, sure, of course, yeah.
It's always crazy, but it's been a good, productive week so far. How about you?
Um, well, we have actually officially moved into our new office,
That's
and
exciting.
very excited. We're downtown Atlanta, right on Broad Street, where all the food is, right by Grady, a few blocks from Grady.
Okay.
Um, but like we're not even decorated yet, so like I'm in like an empty office by myself, and like nothing around me. So hopefully we'll get some decorations up next week. We're really excited for it. Today's episode this is episode number 4 for marketing for NPs or nurses rather. We have a really unique episode because we got bombarded with so many questions. And Portia, I think the best way to kind of tackle this is to run right through them. We're going to give a huge shout out as we get started. I think we should like label this the episode for Ashley because Ashley reached out to us and she does some amazing work with the UAPRN. She's an incredible advocate. She's been on my other podcast, Healthcare Heroes, and I think her podcast has like 5,000 views in like 72 hours. It's amazing. We absolutely adore her here at NP Hub, and she reached out to us because she has questions about marketing and about social media and content. And I can think of no one else better than you, Portia, to answer a lot of these. And I'm happy to jump in as needed, and we'll figure it out.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so let's do it up, everyone. Um, Question 1 is about hashtags. How do you know if you're using the right hashtags on social media?
Okay, so that is a good question. And when you say hashtags, I'm just assuming that you're talking about Instagram because that's what everybody seems to talk about when they're speaking of hashtags. But LinkedIn has started utilizing hashtags.
Yeah.
So especially if you're service based, if you're in the service based industry, you need to utilize hashtags on LinkedIn. So hashtags on Instagram. So Instagram gives you 30 hashtags max of 30 hashtags that you should use. And I say use all 30 of those hashtags. Why? Because what I've learned from Instagram is that if they don't want you to do it, they're not going to allow it. So they allow you
Right.
to use 30 hashtags, so use all 30 hashtags.
Hmm.
And you can use a formula that I use is 15 to 15 ratio. So you should have 15 hashtags that are relevant to your target audience or client, whoever your customer is. You guys use 15 hashtags relevant to them, and then the other 15 hashtags should be relevant to you personally or your brand. So that's
Mm.
that's your 30 hashtags. And then you could also break those two 15 categories down to subcategories. So let's say you take your 15 hashtags that are relevant to your clients or your customers. So we're going to use nurses, for instance, because we love nurses and that's what we
Hmm.
talk about all the time. So I have 15 hashtags that are relevant to nurses. So like nurse problems, novice nurse, RN, LPN, nurses of Instagram,
Mm.
nurses on duty, just different things about nurses,
Yeah.
millennial nurses, just different things.
Hmm.
And what I would do with those 15 hashtags that are relevant to nurses, you would break that down to a subcategory. So you would use with 8 hashtags that have between 100 to 250,000 usage, and then you would take the other 7 and it would have 500,000 or more. And why is that? Because if you think about it, if you have 30 hashtags and all 30 of your hashtags have been used 500,000 times, what's the probability of someone finding your post?
Very little.
Exactly. So a lot of people like to look up hashtags. Oh, this has been used a million times, so I'm going to use it. It's okay to use those hashtags, but all 30 of your hashtags should not, be comprised of hashtags that have been used a million times. Because especially if you're small and you're just starting out and you don't have, the 20,000 followers or 10,000 followers or more, you want your content to be seen. So if you use hashtags that have been used less than 250,000 times, hashtags that have been used less than 100,000 times, then your nurses or whoever your target is, they're going to find you. And then on the other end, when you do the same thing for the hashtags that are relevant to you or your brand. So like I'm in the service based industry, so I'm a writer. well, Instagram is really not geared towards my service because it's gonna kind of be hard to market a writing business on Instagram. But I have a personal brand, Lipstick and
Mm.
Stethoscope, that I do a lot of affiliate marketing with companies for. I do a lot of influencer marketing. And so I use those hashtags that are relevant to that. So I do a lot of things for nurses because nurses come to my page for nurse development, or they want to know ways they can make money beyond the bedside. So I
Right.
use, I use all the nurse hashtags, and then I use the hashtags that are relevant to me. Nurse entrepreneur, nurses who write, nurses who blog, the millennial nurse, different things like that. And
Mm.
then that's how people find me. And are you using the right hashtags? It's going to take some research. You're just going to have to go out, put in the hashtag on Instagram, and see what accounts pop up, what accounts are using those hashtags. Follow accounts that are in your same niche. So if you're a nurse and there are these nurse influencers, look at the nurse influencers Instagram and see what hashtags they're using. Click on those
100%.
hashtags and see who's following those hashtags. And there are different like apps and things that you can use for hashtags where you like go in and plug in your hashtag and it lets you know where it ranks. So if you tune into the blog post, then I will go more into depth on those apps for you.
Perfect. Yep. And honestly, I think you literally nailed everything right there, because I was going to talk about the keyword research. And one of the biggest things with the hashtag is you want that right balance, like you just said. You want hashtags that get seen, but hashtags that aren't so broad. For example, using the hashtag nurses isn't the most relevant thing because everyone is looking at that. You're going to get caught up with posts about scrubs, posts about working in the working in the hospital, posts about 14 million things. That's not the best thing. But for example, say you're an Atlanta-based organization. Say you're an Atlanta-based organization, and we're a group like the UAPRN, right? The UAPRN, I'd recommend maybe doing posts like Atlanta, hashtag Atlanta nurses, hashtag Atlanta NPs, hashtag Atlanta APRNs, hashtag, nurse entrepreneurs. Those things that really will have engagement that do get seen, but they also you want to affiliate your brand and your Instagram page with brands that represent you well. So that's why it's important when you search up a hashtag, go through it and see what type of companies and what type of organizations are posting with that hashtag. Because the last thing you want to do is involve yourself with an organization or a popular hashtag that can have a double meaning. And I'll give you guys a great example. NP Hub, even though it's the name of our company, actually, there's an organization out there called Nonprofit Hub. And sometimes they go by hashtag NP Hub. So we don't go hashtag NP Hub. We go hashtag Empower NPs. And that was just, one thing we switched. So that way we didn't get caught up with the wrong organization. So people didn't search for us and then find another company and say, hey, wait, maybe they shut down or something like that. All right, Portia, question number 2. Are there better times to post on Facebook versus IG?
I think so, because people are on social media at different times of the day. Just depends on. Actually, I was talking to Kelsey, who is a nurse. She has a really good Instagram following. I love Kelsey. Hey, Kelsey. And we were speaking about email marketing, and she was telling me about how she changed the time that she sent out her emails. And when she changed the time, she got a lot of response. And we were talking about that, and she figured out it's because nurses work. Her target is nurses, of course. She figured out it's because nurses were at home that time of evening when she was sending out, her email marketing. And the same things with social media marketing. If you're going to, and actually on Instagram and Facebook, if you look at your insights, it'll tell you on Tuesday at this time, this is when you had the highest engagement on Tuesday. At 6 p.m. This is when you got the most likes or, comments. They kind of do those metrics together. So I think that, yes, there's a difference between posting on Instagram and posting on Facebook. Of course, Instagram is more of the millennial crowd. Facebook is more people who are not millennials, a little bit older. But I love Facebook because I still market on Facebook. I think
100%.
Facebook is good for service-based industries. It's good for my writing business more so than Instagram is. So there are different times to market. You just have to do a little bit of research and use your insights on your Facebook page manager and then your Instagram insights as well.
100%. And yeah, let's get exactly hyper granular on this one. In your Facebook page, there's a section called Insights. Click on your insights, and then when you click through it, you'll find the section that starts talking about when you get the most engagement, what day of the time. And you can even section it off a bit more and see what gender you have your engagement by, your demographics. So for example, we know, right, at NP Hub, our biggest audience, it's like 85% skewed. It's 85% women between the ages of 25 and 55. That's what we know. And that helps us construct a better social media strategy because that's our audience. And for any group out there or any, this works for groups as well, but for any page specifically, you can do the exact same thing. I'd like to add on this one of the biggest mistakes people make that when they run ads or they're spending money on social media is they don't do a proper job thinking of their age group. There's a good chance your age group is not between the ages of 18 and 22. When you spend a lot of money marketing to 18 to 22-year-olds, you won't get the best return. And also, think about, is your age group really above 65 years old? Now, just keep in mind, because when you have a budget and you're first starting out, you don't want to waste ad money on a demographic that does not convert. Really, really important. All right. Question number 3. Portia, this is about Google. And I know how you feel about Google, so I'm excited for this one. If I'm registered with Google, how do I increase traffic? And I'm assuming she means search traffic.
So Google is it's going to take us more than one episode to Google. Is very complicated. It's not complicated, but I think for nurses or nurse entrepreneurs, it seems to be, because we just don't know those things. So of course, SEO, which is search engine optimization. Yes, keywords. Yes, your blog post, we should have your keywords tied into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to dive into that a little bit more. The next episode, we'll do a whole episode on Google. What do you think, Krish?
I love it. Let's do Google. Let's do YouTube, because YouTube is, I think, an amazing place to do long form content. The ads you could do there are well priced still, and we can really do a lot with there. And I think you could even talk about, we recently launched Gmail ads. So we can, so like how if you're in like your inbox, you can see yeah. So I don't know the conversion on it. I can look it up for next time. But that seems like a great episode 5. Everything about Google. Do people want print material or just electronic?
I'm sorry, it's not a funny question, but because, everything is so digital, these days, everything is digital. I still think that print material works. I still think that it does, because it's like you have to stand out. Everyone's sending you emails. Everyone's sending you, digital flyers. And what's I go to my mailbox and someone has sent me a print. It's going to catch my eye. It's going to catch my attention. I don't think that print is dead, as people like to say. I think that you just have to kind of reevaluate the print material that you're sending out, because people still get newspapers, people still get magazines. It might not be as much as as 20 years ago, but people still use it. And it also depends on who your target is. If you're targeting millennials, no, print is probably not going to work for you. But if you're a service-based industry and you're still targeting people that are CEOs of company, executives of company, unfortunately, those people are still, Generation X and baby boomers at this time. So they pretty much are still into print.
100%. And so for us, we've done a lot of research around the concept of effective frequency. And I can tell you, one of our big 2020 initiatives is making sure that we are getting in front of our audience more often. Because the thing is people are very ad blind these days. Think about it. You get mail and naturally you just throw away. You know what junk mail is, and you throw it away. Your emails are spam. You just don't even read them. And that's why you have 4,000, or if you look at my inbox, I have 3,000 emails unread right now. And you scroll on Facebook or Instagram and you're just ad blind. So effective frequency is a concept where your audience needs to be exposed to your advertising a certain number of times before the message resonates. which is why if you go to jcrew.com, you're going to get on Facebook and see jcrew, and then you're going to email from jcrew, and then you're going to get all these things from jcrew, because after the 8th time, if you've seen them, or the 10th time, you'll think, oh wait, maybe I should go shop at jcrew. That's what effective frequency is. So when I say that, it means that, hey, I would recommend a multi-channel approach where you do both. You can't do one or the other, because maybe, like you said, your audience that converts really well is 55 years old and they still love getting mail and they read it, but they don't read your emails too often, you know? So it's about really understanding who your core audience is. And if you don't fully know, most people don't, even I still to this day don't fully know, you need to then experiment with multiple different things. All right, Portia, we're going to wrap up with 2 more quick questions. And this one is a very tactical. And the reason I love tactical questions is because I think for a lot of nurses out there, the concept of marketing, the concept of creating a lot of content is so daunting that it's like, well, I don't have the time to post 50 different videos. The question is, should I upload to YouTube and then share it on social media, or go live on stories? Is stories the most effective? What do you think?
I think that in 2020, the Instagram stories is going to be dominating Instagram. I've even noticed so far that my stories compared to just the posts that I put, I get more engagement. And that's because, I don't know if it's because people like to know that you're a real person. You know, we know, like, and trust. We always talk about know, like, and trust. People like to know that person behind the scenes. I do a lot of polls in my Instagram stories.
Yeah.
I get tons of traction from my polls. And that is advertisement, you guys. I do a lot of affiliate marketing. And like one company I do affiliate marketing for is a online Spanish course for healthcare professionals. And so I did a poll, do you want to learn Spanish? Yes or no? And then what I did was I retargeted everyone who said yes. I sent them a private message on my Instagram and said, hey, I noticed you said that you want to learn Spanish. There's this great course. I sent them a link. If they bought it, they did. They didn't, they didn't. But I retargeted them. So I think that Instagram stories is going to be really big, because people are getting away from just scrolling through Instagram and seeing the same old thing. Instagram stories is going to be big. IGTV is going to be big. I read somewhere it says their Instagram TV is really hot right now. There are a million Oprahs out there. Why aren't you?
That's a good line.
Because it's Instagram TV, you can have a mini podcast, you can have a mini talk show, you know, you can do series. I did a series with me and my business partner did a series in our consulting business on Instagram TV. If you don't have 10,000 followers right now on Instagram, you don't have that swipe up feature, you know, in your stories, but you can do kind of a swipe up feature in Instagram stories. There's a trick to that. There's a hack to that where you can do, Instagram TV, and you can put that back into your stories, and there's like a swipe up feature. So there's a hack to that where you can
wow.
Yeah. I'll teach you, Krish.
I need to learn this. Damn, I got to share this with my social team. We got to do it.
Yeah. And so Instagram TV is going to be really good. I think that videos are really going to be dominating social media next year in 2020.
100%. I mean, like, for everyone listening, and like, look what we do. We do this video. We spend 20 minutes doing it. Then we have a team write up the blog. We post-produce it, and then we reuse the content. I think reutilizing content is the biggest hack you could do out in social media right now. It's like everyone does it. You should be doing it. Instagram TV, I think, is huge. YouTube, I think, is a great platform. But if I had to pick between IGTV or YouTube, I would do IGTV right now.
Why?
Because your audience, it's easier to be found organically on IGTV. YouTube is so noisy now, where like if you type in NP Hub on YouTube, you get other companies talking about clinicals before. It's intense. And that's such for a niche market. Could you imagine talking about nurse empowerment when there's 50 other nurse entrepreneurs, nurse YouTubers talking about this? It can be quite noisy. So IGTV, I think, is a great place, and micro content, I think, performs better. You know, you and I are experimenting with shorter videos, 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, versus my old podcast. I used to record an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
And I don't have the analytics on who watched a full episode, but I can tell you that, like, personally, I don't want to watch an hour and a half episode. I want to watch 10 minutes.
Right.
You know? So
right.
that's what I would do. And I think that hack with IGTV you were talking about and swiping up is huge.
Yeah, it's really, and I wish that Instagram would. I think maybe in the future they might make it to where you don't have to have those 10,000 followers, because like we were talking about, following the followers is just a vanity metric if you don't utilize it properly.
Yeah.
So hopefully Instagram, if someone's from Instagram's watching us, we want that swipe up feature for us, the micro and nano influencers, because we have high engagement.
100%. Yeah. I think, and I think you're right. Like for Instagram, and again, it's about getting the 1 or 2 or 3 customers or the right engagement when you post something. It's not about getting 4,000 likes. That just doesn't matter. Let's wrap up here with the final question, Portia. How do you keep up with trending hashtags?
Oh, I think that's pretty simple. Find out what's going on in your industry. And then go on Instagram or, whatever platform you're using, type in the hashtag, and you can use hashtags on Facebook too. I don't think a lot of people realize that, but you can utilize hashtags on Facebook as well and see the number of people that are using it. And then like we were talking about earlier, click on the hashtag and see who's using it. There are apps for that as well. And as I said, you guys check the blog post that is going to be accompanying this video, then I will go more into depth on those apps. You guys just should really check the blog post out, because I really, really go more into depth on the things that we're talking about. So you guys can have something tangible. You have links that you can use and you can go straight to what we're talking about. But just doing some research on the keywords in your industry, I think is something basic that you can do.
100%. Yeah. I think getting on, Facebook, Instagram, and just typing in whatever topic you want to learn more about and going from there, seeing what's trending on YouTube, popular videos. That's another great way of just kind of keeping up with it. And generally follow certain influencers on social media that tend to know what's always going on. That's another easy trick, You're absolutely right, though. Make sure to check out the blog. Go to blog.nphub.com, and any single topic we talk about here gets better explained and more concisely explained when Portia writes it, which is amazing. So I know I can be verbose and very, very wordy. With that being said, everyone, thank you for joining us on episode 4, the Ashley episode. Ashley, I hope you got all your questions answered. And for all you other entrepreneurs, for all you other nurses out there that have questions about marketing content, please message us. Hit us up on Facebook. Hit us up on IG. And ask your questions. We will get them answered, because our hope is that we simplify marketing for you all. Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing for Nurses podcast. If you enjoyed the show or thought it was awesome, please leave a comment below or ask a question that you want us to answer for the next podcast. I'll see you next week.